What's going on, Chaotix? It is your boy, Chaos May 006, here with the Draft Season 2 breakdown of the Fletchling Tube Pokemon League. Yes, we did change to the Fletchling Tube Pokemon League this season because it just sounds more professional. I like it better, and everybody else agreed with it, so we're rolling with that. But, as you can hear, I'm not by myself today. I am joined by some of the other members of the league. What we did this season, just to make clarity's sake, and so I don't look like I'm cheating the game. I have a council now that is going to be helping me moderate this whole season, help me moderate the league, and so I don't have to take all the hits for everything, and I can sort of like back off on hammering down on people. So I've added very reliable people, people I trust, people I've worked with, and these guys are awesome, they're great, and I'm very excited to be working with them this season. So let me introduce you. You already know him. You love him. The coach of the Derby Don fans, 2v5.
Hello, mate.
And we have the one, the only, the dragon god of gaming, Damien Dragon.
What's going on, everybody?
So, you guys are ready? We're going to get into this podcast. What we're going to be doing is we're going to go through each of the picks. There are 72 picks, which is a lot. And we're going to be talking about how they work with the team, and so forth and so on. If you guys saw my draft breakdown last season, it's basically that, but with a little bit more friends. So let's get started with pick number 1.
I think I think this is first and foremost a very, very good pick. I will admit Tapu Koko was quite high up on my board. Um, I didn't expect it to go number one though. I was not expecting it. You'd take it. I think the speed is crucial on this, and if you just give it any scarf it, you ain't gonna stop it. So I haven't got much more to say than that. You covered everything else I wanted to say. Damn you.
Um, if I can probably interject myself here, speed is very crucial indeed. I do agree with Tui here, but with such a physical attacker, you also gotta watch his defense as well. Because if you get sloppy with that and you focus more on attack, it's gonna lose a lot on the defensive side, which is gonna lower his health down very quickly. Roos is actually a really good move to have on par with him. So I would suggest keeping an eye on that life bar there. I would say with a good amount of abilities to think about and items that it could possibly use, I would say go with the best. That anything that can add to that defensive, I would say would be the best for him. So just look at that.
Yeah.
What? What a
No,
way
not
to
really. Vegasmon has me terrified. I'm not looking forward to battling it, and I hope Mew isn't watching this because I plan to use Oricorio to destroy it. But the space stats are fantastic. It's just not weak. It is such a brilliantly good Mon. It can sweep, and that terrifies me as a coach. It is something I'll have to concentrate on. It's something I think all the other coaches will have to concentrate on heavily. I think one thing that'll be key is to see how Super Mew sets up in week 1. Because I think however Super Mew sets up week 1, whether it be special or physical, will be how they run it for the rest of the season. Hello?
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
You were very quiet on me.
Mew is an incredible Pokemon. He's very dangerous when you use him correctly. Very good base stats, and it can be very crafty to try to work around Mew. You can learn practically anything, and depending on what trainer actually wants to put with Mew, depending on what moves it wants to use, what items it wants to use, it can use anything. So that's going to be a definite wild card for any trainer who goes up against Mew. So I would suggest when you go in, just focus on Mew. If you're going to have to fight Mew in the first round, I kind of feel bad there. So
Yeah, I can see what you're saying, Damien, with that. I expect this thing to come every week since it is the mascot Pokemon. He does really like Mew. It's his favorite Pokemon. So I expect it to come. Hopefully you guys can hear me now. I'm sorry my mic was off, but hopefully everything's fine now.
Dear.
So let me go back and talk about Tapu Koko for a second. Tapu Koko, really great. Speed, attack, obviously. Can run special and physical. So that's basically what I said. Can run a lot of items. Getting through that. Same thing with Mew. It's very good 100 base stats across the board. You guys see it work really fun. So very, very fun to see. Anything else for you guys?
Nope, I say on to the next draft pick.
Yeah,
I'm good here, man.
Yeah, guys, that's why you saw the screens coming because I was trying to fix that. So let's go on to the next coach, the next team, and it's also a new team getting the third pick in this draft. Is the one, the only Zygamer and the North Carolina Empoleon. I almost said that backwards too. But his number 1 pick is Mega Sableye. Oh boy, this thing. Obviously, item's going to be Sableonite, so you don't have to worry about anything that way. Also, you can hit knockoffs repeatedly for nice damage. So that's going to be good. It's also sort of weak to it, but not fully because Dark is kind of whatever. Magic Bounce, awesome ability. Really awesome ability. I can see this thing coming in as Keen Eye just so it can't lose stats. On regular, when you have to switch it, when the turn it has to be regular before you can Mega Evolve, because like if you switch it in not right away, you're gonna have to use one of the other abilities. So I see Keen Eye coming in for that, and then Magic Bounce, very great ability, bouncing back, hazards and everything. So it could be really fun to. He could let you try to set up hazards and then switch this thing in. Magic Bounce all the hazards out back onto your side. So that could be a really good tactic for him if you are expecting to run hazards through his team. Let's look at stats. Very, very slow. It's going to be one of the big keys here. Very slow. But Fairy type move easily takes it out. It's going to be nice to see. Bug type move is also going to be pretty nice on it. You're going to see more defensive than attacking, so it's probably going to run things like Toxic, things like Stolly, things like that. Detect, maybe Fake Out, probably comes in here. Knock Off, it sounds like a good move. And you might see some Pain Split and Nasty Plotting here and there. But it gets a lot of fun moves to play around with. It obviously is set for that Prankster set in its regular form, so you're going to probably see a lot of that Prankster set come into its Mega form here. But other than that, stats pretty good. What you expect for a Mega. But who knows? We'll see how he runs it week 1. Dewey.
No, I think this is a fantastic pick. Defensively fantastic. Very, very sound. I think to destroy it, you're gonna have to bring a fairy, and that's something. And if I'm not mistaken, a lot of the teams haven't got like a pure fairy to deal with it.
We'll see later on. We'll see.
Well,
I know my team does, but we'll talk about that later.
I know for a fact mine doesn't. So you've got to be wary of this. I think the North Carolina Napoleons have done fantastic to get this. Mega Sableye is a mega. I also think this is a very good first round pick. This is a tier. This is the round I expect Mega Sableye to go for. Admittedly, I had no intention of drafting it, but it doesn't take it away. It's a great first round pick for me. Great first round.
Alright, Mega Sableye. Wow. I actually didn't think that they would start off like that. Mega Sableye does have a lot of weaknesses. Looking at pure just stats, but I would say I have dealt with a Sableye in the past, and they are nasty little buggers. But what I would suggest for that is not to make that their main focus, because they do have a good Pokemon later on that would think that they would want to center it around. So let's take that for what it is, and I would say Mega Sableye is a really good choice. But I would say he's better as a support rather than a main focus for your team.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. Very good supportive mon. I actually did not expect this to go this early. I expect this to be a maybe like mid draft to mid early draft. So maybe like maybe like a round 3 pick, round 4 pick, something like that. Not really first round, but it's still a good mon. It's gonna be nice for his team, and I definitely see this thing putting in some work when you don't expect it to. So I think Damien has a point in saying don't make this your main focus, but you also have to be wary of it in hindsight, just because it's gonna kick your butt if you let it. Anything else from you guys?
Not really. Let's move on to the next draft.
All right, so the next pick is a very obvious pick. Once I announce the trainer and the team, you probably should guess the pick, but it is one of the former FPL members and Tech at Beasting and the Imploding Typhlosions taking Mega Beedrill. This is an easy pick for me to break down. I've seen him use this. I did not expect anything different from this, because this is one of his bread and butter mons. He likes to run it, and I can see why you like to run it with a 400, looking like 400 when you max out EVs, almost 400. It's gonna kick butt. Also, really great attacking stat and adaptability, giving same type attack bonus 2 times instead of 1.5. That puts a world of difference, especially when you see stab U-turns coming out, just letting you switch out, and stab poison jab on all those fairy types. It's gonna be a beast to take out, but you can work around it. It's stuck with Beedrillite, so it cannot get like a Scarf or something to make it move faster or hit harder. So you're gonna see probably a standard set with Drill Run coming out, knock off, Poison Jab, Protect, and U-turn as probably the main 5 moves he's gonna go between. You might see Toxic Spikes here and there, maybe Sword Stance on a couple sets, but I expect primarily those 5 moves to be his usage. And I've already talked about stats, so you gotta worry about this thing. If you hit it with anything defense, like physical, it's probably gonna go over, fall over dead like 20 times through. But you gotta be able to outspeed and take a hit. That's the big thing. Hit it, Tui.
I think personally this is a terrible draft pick, and I'll say this. Not that I criticise the Mon. I think the Mon's speed, brilliant. You could run a U-turn on this and it'll be good. My criticism of this draft pick is Tech himself. Tech knows he likes his Mon, but it didn't work last season. The only person it worked again was myself, and I battled horribly against him. So I don't understand why he would pick the same team when he only finished 2-7, I think. So, yeah, this pick's questionable in my eyes. I just do not see why, if something went so disastrously wrong for you last season, why you would do it again. And it wasn't like, okay, Mega Beedrill was probably his best mon times. It's a great mon, and I don't know whether Tekka will use it correctly, and it worries me. Damien?
Alright, well, I agree with you two. That is gonna. I agree that is a terrible draft pick to just take. For the simple fact of it is, Beedrill itself has so many weaknesses, and it technically like what Chaos was saying earlier. It's kind of like it is a good Pokemon at times, but it's like a glass cannon. It shoots once, but if you hit it hard enough, it's gonna go down very quickly. I wasn't here last season. I wasn't part of the league, so I didn't see any of the matches. I'm gonna be getting to see the matches this season, and I can't wait. But it's gonna be dependent on how Tekka uses Beedrill, how he implements it, and if he goes with a different strategy of attack rather than what he was doing last season. Because it sounded like when he used it, he just tried to force it into the battle and force it to be something that it's not. Stat wise, it's great at speed, but attacking, it's good at quick attacks, but it's not going to hit as hard as it needs to hit. Defensive wise, it's not good because a lot of the other picks that I see on the board all will most likely destroy Beedrill. So something not to focus around is going to be more around the character that, like, okay, if he hits it, poison would be a good move. A good poison move that most likely will hit for a statics effect. But I would not see it being like a focal center point. So I would say not a good pick. Let's hope he has some good ones left in the rest.
Yeah, I would agree with you what you guys have been saying. I think Beedrill, Mega Beedrill, obviously really rate Mega pick. I think way too early in the draft, maybe again middle of the draft, probably like round 5, round 4, something like that. But this thing is easily walled by so many things. It's not even funny. You bring in a Steel type, you pretty much can't touch it, especially a Levitate Steel type. Drill Run's probably his best coverage move for that. If you have Levitate on your Steel type, or if it's a flying Steel type like Celesteela, or something like that, that's how I won last season against this Beedrill. I brought in Celesteela. It literally could not touch me. Even with the high attack stat, it did like 5 damage with U-turn. So this thing can be easily walled even with that high attack stat. It just doesn't have the moves you really need it to work. So I think it's a nice pick. It's just not an early round thing you want to go for.
I personally think he could have got Mega Beedrill literally around 10, 11, or 12. Really late round pick.
I really do too. That's why I'm not saying it's a great first pick. Yeah, he wanted it bad. And that's why he got it.
Too rushed, and he could have chosen something like a solid defensive type.
Yeah.
Pokemon instead of something that can easily be destroyed. And he's trying to go for more speed than defensive, and I don't think he's thinking correctly.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, moving on to the next pick with the St. Louis Miniors and another repeat pick and a Metagross. Ooh, fun pick. Pseudo legendary. Here we go. Base 600 stats across. Well, not across the board. That'd be insanely broken. But base 600 stats when added up. Very good physical on the physical side. 130 attack, 130 defense. And also got some nice bulk on the special side with 95 attack, 95 defense. Sort of under the niche of the middle tier, speed tier, but it's 70, but it's pretty nice. It's going to tank a lot of hits, and that's really what you want to see. You have some really nice abilities in Clear Body and Light Metal. Honestly, I don't see a whole lot of usage for Light Metal unless you're trying to avoid Heavy Slam, but you really wouldn't want that for Heavy Slam because it's heavy. Grass Knot would make sense to use on this thing, but it's gonna resist it, so why use it in the first place?
Yeah.
Items. Oh, this thing. I saw Brief use this last year. I saw an Assault Vest version come out. I've seen a Rocky. I think he did Rocky. No, Rocky Helmet was his Ferrothorn. I've seen a Assault Vest version of this thing, and also Leftovers is also a very common move on this thing, just because item, because it's just so bulky. It's going to be able to take hits. As for moves, you're probably going to see it run physical. You're probably going to see Bullet Punch, Earthquake. I think it gets Zen Headbutt, maybe Toxic or Stealth Rocks for a little bit of coverage and setup options. You could see Hammer Arm also come in, very staple on Mega Metagross, but this is a regular Metagross, so keep that in mind. It can also explode on you. That's something you gotta be wary of. It can explode, so bad, very bad. Also can run some special sides, so it depends on what kind of Metagross he brings. And I don't think this is a bad pick for Brief. He knows how to use Mons. He's played really well last season, so I'm expecting him to use this Metagross very well like he did last season. It was a very hard battle against Metagross for me personally, so I'd love to see him use this thing really well again, just not when I'm battling him. So, Tech It, you're up.
Alright, just as you were saying, I think this is a fantastic move. Just like I criticised Tech It taking a Mon they used last time, this is a much better pick. Although it's the same premise as I know, the reason why this is a much better pick than that Mega Beedrill 1, Metagross is actually a first round draft pick in my eyes. That is a great Mon. Base 600, as you said. Pseudo legendary. All the things are there for a team to be built around it. Secondly, Brief does know how to use this Mon, and this Mon destroyed me 3 times last season. He took down my team 3 times with Metagross. That shows he is such a good battle with Metagross. That is good that he's taken it early. However, could he have waited?
Yes.
That's reason why. As good as a pick it is, was it going to go? Because was I going to take it? No, I wasn't. So, it's 50-50. It's part a great pick because it's a great Mon, and there's so many options you can run on. It's also a bit of a reach because you could have got it later.
Well, yeah, you could have gotten it later, but then again, a first round draft pick, I agree with both of you. It's an amazing, stellar choice. Great stats across the board. Yeah, Chaos May is right that it's lacking in the speed category, but it is a tank, and rightfully so. Metagross, even in trading card tournaments where I used to play, is monstrous. It hits so hard and can take so much damage. It's not even funny, but it's an incredible move user, and depending on what type of Metagross he brings in, whew, he'll start for anyone else.
All right. Well, I do think this thing could have gone later in the draft. However, if he waited too much longer, I would have picked it up. It was something I was looking at on my board. It was there. I wasn't sure I wanted it on my team. It really didn't fit into how I wanted to run my team this season. But it was something I'm like, I have a tank, I have a nice steel type, I get a nice psychic type as well. So I can get a tank. It's going to be a nice Mon to pick up. I can run it like Celesteela last season, which I ran it insanely well. So I could do this really well, but again, at that time we had a rule in the draft where if you picked a Mon 2 seasons in a row, any team picked the same, like if I picked the Metagross this season, it would have been banned for the next season. So I was trying to avoid those kinds of picks, and we then changed the rule so it's only if the same team picks it twice, they can't pick it next season. So I might have been more lenient to more trying to get this thing if I knew that was going to be there at that point. But it's still good Mon. I think it's going to be fun to battle Brief with this team again, and it's a really good solid base for him. However, I do think it could have gone maybe like a 3rd round pick, a nice solid 3rd round pick. Anyone else got anything else to say?
I would have said grab it in the later rounds where, all right, it's there. you have like okay, you have a good support character, you have a great attacker. Metagross would probably be the third, fourth round pick. But I would say if you got all that down, then pick up Metagross. But even if so, if he's as good with the Metagross as he was when he first originally used it, I would say that's that's going to be a good choice, and I think he's going to work that everything around it.
So moving on to our sixth and final coach this season, sixth and final team. We are doing a 6-team draft season this season, which is a lot of fun. I'm really excited for that. And I'm going to preface it with probably my least favorite first round pick in this draft in the Derby Dawn fans and Dugong, coached by Darby. I know. I messed it up on purpose. Coached by none other than 2E5. So, I'm really interested to see what Tui has to say about this, but I want to give my little spiel first, and then I'll put my stuff in at the end. I think Thick That is a nice ability. Maybe not for this Mon, because it's a water type, and it's not going to be really taking too much. It's going to be neutral fire damage, neutral grass damage, so also ice is going to be resisted 4 times, so Hydration could be cool. Really nice ability in rain if you want to run a rain team. That could be really cool. And Hail also for the ice body would be really nice to do that way. So it depends on what, like, weather obviously is a great setup for this thing. And you can run 2 different types of weather. So either way works for me. I expect to see this thing some kind of set of physical or special. It can run both, which is really nice. But I expect to see a max attack stat, one of the either special or physical, max speed, because it's got a nice natural bulk to it. So I expect to see max attack, max speed, and then maybe some investment in bulk as well. Item-wise, depends on the set you run it with, actually. If you want to set up Rain Dance or Hail with this thing, I think it would get Hail. I'm pretty sure it gets Hail. You want to set up Rain or Hail with this thing, which I'm pretty sure it does get both of those. I'm not sure. Don't hold me to that. But it could be nice to have an Icy Rock or a Damp Rock, I believe is the water one. It is a Damp Rock. To make it 8 turns of Hail or Rain. That could be a fun ability to go with. Also for moves, this could be run very, very fun. And also very, very scary. It's got access to some really nice, powerful Ice-type moves like Icicle Spear, hitting 5 times in a row. Obviously, it's not Skill Link, so that's kind of a... If this thing was Skill Link, it would be absolutely busted. But Waterfall hit physically, Signal Beam, and Surf, and you name it, it's got it. Encore could be a fun set to run, just because, like, you catch someone using Toxic over and over again, it's going to be busted. Also, Rest Talk is a nice set for this thing. Does have access to Perish Song, so I don't know, like, how you would trip it. If you could trap something in, trap it, maybe. Disable also is a good move. Just because if you are trying to avoid a very powerful move to get a nice switch into something else, maybe that works, but it's got some scary things going for it. Really interested to see what Tui has to say about it, but I want to say one more thing, and that is I don't really care for the shiny form. So I want to just say that. I don't care for it.
Why are you hating on the shiny form?
It's just like, it's like a gold version. But Tui, you're up. Take your pick.
Okay. So this pick was a risk. Could I go off Dugong in round 12?
Yes.
Yes. Like, definitely yes. But one of my purposes is, in my draft, and like, I like to turn heads. I like to cause controversy in this league. I like to go against the norm.
And also lose.
So and yes, I also lose. We don't need to bring that up. But I saw everyone else going tier 1. And my draft strategy was very much conserve point. As you would see at the end when we go through points, I wanted to conserve points so I could pick up some snipes later on in the draft. But one reason I picked Dugong was Perish Song. As mentioned by Mr. Chaos May 006 earlier, it can run Perish Song, it can run Whirlpool. A Whirlpool Perish Song set is lethal. It will murder. However, this can very easily be countered by Gengar with Mean Look. Very easy. And it could completely backfire. So, it's one of those things. this could either go on and be one of my best mons season, or go on and be a dud. I think, personally, now I'm reviewing my draft, I'm very pleased I took Dugong. However, I wish I'd taken it later. And that's what I've got to say.
Dugong was an incredible choice. I will agree with you there, Tui. But for as much of a hard hitter as Dugong is, he's still technically, he has a lot of weaknesses depending on the Pokemon that another trainer uses. He can be very susceptible to many dangerous attacks. And I agree, Parrot Song is a horrible thing to handle, and especially in a high stakes battle. But what I need you to worry about a little bit more is that I need you to try to cover up a lot of Dugong's weaknesses.
Yeah.
If you limit him on his weaknesses, then he is an incredible Pokemon to have. But if you are focusing more on how to hurt your opponent rather than focusing on keeping your Pokemon alive, then Dugong is, like many others on this list, a bit of a glass cannon. He hits hard, but can't take that much damage. So I would suggest focusing a lot more on covering up his weaknesses and then hitting them as hard as you physically can.
This thing could be run many ways, and I think maybe I could see a Focus Sash set coming. It'd be fun to see that.
Ooh.
But I have to disagree with the Glass Cannon comments, just because I think this thing has pretty nice bulk to it. Typing, yeah, if it does get hit, you hit electric type move, it's pretty much toast. But it's a tier 5 mon. I don't expect it to do absolutely super well. But given what you guys have said, I think this could be a nice little sweep set at the end. Coming in, maybe run some sweeping stuff. Maybe you get the last mon in. It can't switch out anyway. And you just pair Song to finish the match. So you give it 3 turns, even if you have, you can have 4 mons left. You pair a Song, it's game over. Because you're going to at least 1-0 your opponent, even if he does take out all 3. Takes out 3 of your mons. So, anything else on Dugong?
No.
I did, if I can explain why I said about him being a glass cannon, I do agree that he has a good amount of bulk, but more along the lines of he has so many weaknesses. And that's why I said he can't be a glass cannon, and I should have paraphrased a little bit. He's a glass cannon if not used very properly. If you know what I mean.
He won't be used well.
If you're not going to use him well, I'm pretty sure, dude, you'll use him well. But if he's not used well, he is technically a glass cannon. Great with moves, hits hard, but if you're not going to cover him up and be able to suppress anything that's going to immediately damage the heck out of him, I would suggest that, basically.
I could see this thing definitely being a 12th round pick, just saying. But
round pick.
If it was there in the 12th round, I might actually have picked this thing up. But that's for another conversation, maybe later. But we're gonna move on to round 2. That was round 1, guys. Congratulations, we made it through the first round. And guess what? This draft does snake. So back on the clock again is the Derby Dawn fans, as I say it right,
Well done, lad.
even though it's spelled wrong. And we're gonna get our first Z move user of the draft in a very good mon for Tech. Well, not a very good mon for Tech. A very good mon for Tui. As I correct myself. Very good mon for Tui in Infernape. He ran this thing like a beast last season. Very great stats from a starter. That's what you expect. Pretty good speed at 108, just over the mid speed tier. Good at attack and special attack, both 104. Defense is a little lackluster. It can be glass cannon-y, but you can bulk this thing up with an assault vest, things like that. You gotta worry about the physical side. It's got great moves: blaze kick, acrobatics, brick break. It can bulk up. It can calm mind. It can earthquake. You're probably gonna see a lot of a mixed set. That's what you ran last season. Also does get access to some really nice coverage moves in Stealth Rock and, well, for setup on the field. And Stone Edge, Shadow Claw is also set up for nice punishment for your opponent. Poison Jab could come in for fairy types. I don't really recommend that, but it could. But we've seen a special mixed physical set with some flamethrower action, some thunder punch action. I think he ran thunder punch last season. Some nice mixed set that really I was not prepared for a lot of this time. But once I did prepare for it, we had a nice Volcarona Fiery Dance set to take on this Infernape. So very fun. I think too we'll use this very well. Item wise, you're gonna see everything, and you're gonna see the kitchen sink in this thing. It could do anything. Life Orb, gonna make this thing a monster. Coming out. If you want to run it physical, you can see a band set. You want to run it special, I can see a spec set. If you want to make this thing outspeed everything, I can see a scarf set. I can see an assault vest set if you just want an all out attack. Which I think you did run some assault vest last season. So
I did in one battle against Tekkit.
Yep.
In a 3-0 sweep, I ran assault vest.
There could be some leftovers also, so this thing could run anything. But Tiri, let's talk about your mon that caused you a lot of good battles last season.
I mean, one thing a lot of I think it was you said about me is I don't tend to bulk up and stall out. I tend to just attack.
Mm-hmm.
And Infernape is my centerpiece of my team. I will admit this was supposed to be my first round pick. I just sent them in the wrong order. I will openly admit that wasn't my bad.
Well, yeah.
Dugong was not supposed to be my first round pick. Infernape was. But it doesn't matter, I got them both anyway. Infernape, last year I ran Assault Vest. His hidden ability, I can't remember the exact name, boost punching type moves, fantastic. Thunder Punch, Fire Punch, becomes so much more useful to use. Infernape, one issue is ground type, flying type, water type. It's can't destroy it easily. And I'll move on to Damien.
Alright, basically, instead of going through saying how good Infernape is, I do want to ask a question to Tui, being as fit that is your Pokemon. What drew you to Infernape to begin with? Was it his typing, how he uses his moves, the moves itself, or just the Z typing that he could possibly use later? What was...
It was just realistically just that I looked at it and I wanted a fire and fighting type a fire and fighting type, but last season you could only have 9 mons, and I didn't want to use 2 beasts for 1 when I could only have 1 used up. So
I was asking because it's like, all right, Infernape has great amount of moves, and I can see why you want to pick him up, and it's incredibly thoughtful choice on your part. But what I was saying was, yeah, he's very susceptible to flying types, and I would say like, because before everything, we had a Pokemon that we were talking about that is almost its polar opposite, but also very close to it. That is a flying type. So would your main focus be like, all right, try to keep Infernape away from more of the flying type Pokemon, or would it be like, okay, think through the strategy here and try to keep more grounded assault for Infernape?
yeah.
I don't think I even said anything. Right, sorry, ladies and gentlemen. But what I mean is are you worried about flying type Pokemon seeing this fit that a lot of our coaches have picked up a good amount of flying type Pokemon? Would that be something that you're worried about?
Yeah.
Definitely think it is something you should worry about here. But to cover that ground weakness, you could see Air Balloon coming. But one thing I did not mention that I really want to mention, that I mentioned at the beginning that I didn't talk about, it is a Z-Move user. So we're gonna see Z move coming out on this thing, and with the moveset it's got, you can see anything anything you want. Grass type, fire type, fighting type, electric type, ice type, fighting type again, poison type, psychic type. Well, I guess not really psychic type, but flying type even. You could throw an aerial ace on it and get a flying type. Doesn't matter. Whatever you want, this thing can do. But either way, it's gonna be hitting pretty dang hard. Anything else for Infernape?
Not really.
Nope.
Okay, moving on. We got St. Louis Mini-R's second pick, Rotom Wash. Now this Mon, really great Mon. I took Heat last season, and I really loved it. So I think Rotom Wash is going to be a nice set for him. It's really good Mon that matches really well with Metagross in just another pretty tanky Mon that also is a nice special attacker to mix well with his physical side. So these two are good pair. Levitate also makes it very, very nice, making it only susceptible to pretty much grass type moves and like electric type moves, but electric resists electric, so it's neutral. Items. This thing could run a lot of things. It does have access to tricks, so you might see like a Toxic Orb or a Flame Orb set coming on. Defog probably going to be a nice pick for Brief Star. He's probably going to use Defog a lot on this thing.
Yeah.
And I expect to see a Volt Switch, Will-O-Wisp, or Toxic, and Pain Split. The common like setup Stolly set on Rotom. Timmy.
I think this is a great pick. You ran Rotom Heat last year. I ran one battle of Rotom Frost against you. Rotom itself is a great Mon, but Rotom Wash, I have to admit, it's one of my least favorite Rotoms. I think Rotom Heat or even Rotom Frost would be a much better pickup. I think Rotom Heat would help cover Metagross a bit, but Rotom Wash could also cover that fire type weakness. So it swings and roundabouts. That's the set I'm going for. However, overall, I think this is a great Mon, but maybe a round or two later he could have picked it up. I don't know what you guys think about Rotom Wash. In all honesty, Rotom Wash isn't a Mon I know an awful lot about. So I'll move on to Damien.
I would agree that Rotom Wash wasn't the best choice of the Rotoms that you could have more chosen to cover Metagross. His Heat version would be much more better, but seeing as fit that I think he's going for more like Rotom is gonna be more of his support character to Metagross. I could see him grabbing up a extremely good attacker in round 3 or round 4 that I think would make up for what Rotom Wash would be able to do. So it's all around pretty good, defensive stat wise, but I would think that it was a poor choice in this round that would pick.
Yeah.
Rotom Wash actually was on my radar to be on my team because I think it would work really well with my team, but I do see that I was more leaning toward Heat if I took a Rotom form. I just didn't really want to because, kind of used it last season, didn't want it to go away. But anything else with this before we go on?
Let's move on.
So we're going back to Tekka Beasting, and another very obvious pick in Cloyster. Stupid pick for him. I really think it's a stupid pick.
Come on, man.
I always bash on Tekkit but he really likes Cloyster and Beedrill. I give him that. Cool Mons. He just doesn't run them as effectively as they can be. We're going to see Skill Link, definitely. You're going to see Explosion. You're going to see Icicle Sphere. You're going to see Shell Smash. We're going to probably White Herb set. It's not right now. It's not a Z move user, but it could be because it does have some nice coverage on it. But you're probably going to see this thing as a physical tank, trying to come in, set up on Mons with Shell Smash, and it is kind of scary. It is a good Mon. I really think it's a good pick, but you gotta be wary about how you play it. You can't just go in first round, Shell Smash, and expect to live, because you don't know what's coming at you. You could have a Z move coming right at you, a Z Thunderbolt, Z Thunder, Z All Out Pummeling in like Hammer Arm or something like that. So this thing could easily go down one shot, and that's going to be a real play for him this season. But I definitely see a skill like Icicle Spear, Explosion, Shell Smash, and maybe Protect or something else on the end. Most likely, like good water move like Liquidation probably comes in, or Razor Shell maybe just for the defense drop. But who knows? We'll see what Tekkit decides to run. Tui.
Terrible pick. Literally terrible.
I hope he's in the chat. I really do.
I hope he is. I hope he is, and I hope he's seeing this because then we can build our rivalry, because I will destroy him. I don't know why he's gone for 2 teams Pokemon as he went for last year.
He likes him, that's fine.
It didn't work. It did not work. Why? He should have known. Like, alright, I didn't have a great season last year, and I changed things up. I changed things up. Going to some ways, kept the same mons. It blows my mind. Damien?
Where do I even
Say he's on my side.
I can't. There's not much I can say that has not already been said. This is a horrible choice. It's like, okay, are you trying to reconstruct the team that you already lost with? Like, this. What is this? Cloyster is good on defensive wise, but for you guys told me to limit on how I curse, but there's just
Go ahead.
I have no words to describe how stupid of a choice this is. First you go with Beedrill, and then you go with Cloyster.
Just Mega Beedrill though.
I don't give two craps if it's a Mega Beedrill or not. It's still a freaking Beedrill.
Well,
I'm just gonna leave it off as is.
I say move on for one of the swears.
I've lost 5 points off my IQ just.
I just want to say this could be a really cool Z move user. I could see some Z stuff. I knew Tekkit was planning on using a setup move for a Z move on one of his mons, but since this league does not allow setup, it only allows attacking moves for Z moves. Can't do that anymore, so we'll see what he gets, but he's one of the only 2 people who haven't sent in that. But we're going to move on to a really fun pick, making a return from Season 1 on a different team for the first time this draft. We got Chansey with North Carolina, and pulling on this is a fun pick, as Tui did not use it at all last season pretty much. Really cool moves, really cool abilities, Natural Cure, Serene Grace Healer. You're probably going to see a common set with this, Aromatherapy, Soft Boiled, maybe even Protect or Substitute. Stealth Rock could come in here as well. It could be a Rest Talk set. You can run it that way too. And you're probably going to see it in nice strong moves to like Seismic Toss or whatever really you want to run coverage-wise. I don't expect to see a whole lot of normal top stuff coming out. You might run, like, I would not run Return even though you could run Max Attack. I mean, you could run Max Attack, it still wouldn't be great. I can see Tri Attack coming, as if that's the only normal type move I can see coming, Tri Attack. Which also could be an option here. But you can run this thing many ways. You're probably going to see Eviolite. You're probably going to see Eviolite. You're definitely going to see Eviolite to boost those defenses up. And I don't know. It looks like a good pick for Sableye, but I'm not sure. You need some attacking options early on, but still a good pick. 2, 3, 5, go.
25 years later.
2v5, are you in the building?
You want me to go?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Alright, Chansey is a great healer. Chansey is a great healer. I would say go with Hard Boiled is actually one of the good moves. And also Aromatherapy would do wonders next to a Mega Sableye. But holy crap. Our buddy over here is having issues. But I would say, if anything, Chansey, great healer. It can make up for a lot of things that's wrong with Sableye. As I said, and the stat department that Kansas would probably make up for that in the long run. So I would suggest, yeah, this. I would say this is a really good choice. I would say this is. I would say nothing wrong with this. After the last horrible pick, I would say this is a good one. Sweet Jesus.
So we have mic issues
Yes.
right now, but experiencing technical difficulties as we are going through this. Let me to find myself, and let's see. I couldn't use it last season. It was pretty good. It's a pretty good moan. I just couldn't use it well. Probably gonna be working better on Zargamer's team, but we're gonna see how it goes. I hope Tui's not. Tui's listening to this and he's gonna kill me.
I am upset at that accent.
It's terrible. You're not
It upsets me.
good.
I'm not even British, and it upsets me.
That's the point. So I expect to see a lot of what he probably would say. Why? Yeah, he's insulted. It'd probably be a lot of what I mentioned with the soft boil and stuff.
I expect a knife emoji in the chat.
I wouldn't do that. I would not do that. I'd probably ban you. So,
Like, how can I kill you?
till you figure out your mic, we're gonna keep going though because we gotta get this show on the road. We're moving on to if you want to post your stuff in the chat, you go ahead and post it in the chat.
Please.
But we're gonna go on to the next pick in Mew.
Ditto. Why? Can I ask why? Ditto is. I'm not saying it's a bad mon, but jeez, man. Out of all the other Pokemon you could have picked, you hit with Ditto. Clap for you, sir. That was on the brain level of a squirrel move. That's almost as bad as Cloyster. Almost. It's almost there. Yeah, turn into the typing of the Pokemon you're fighting. A lot. It's gonna be there a lot. Please, please, God, if Tekken has to go up against Ditto, please, God, let there not be a Cloyster in the battle when it transforms. Please, God. That was a complete miss for me. I hope so. Please, when you use transform, please make it on a good Pokemon. God's sakes. If you use it on if you use it on Cloyster, I'm gonna hate you forever. I will immediately leave the battle. I will leave. All right. I guess we already discussed this horribly. Okay, let's go. Probably the same thing. This If I may interject a bit here, if you don't mind. Um, I do like Halucha. Lucha is an incredible pick for you, but I hope that what you have in having time with your items. What I would suggest is to make up for its defensive problem. You know, whatever issues that it would have, I would hope that you would have a item that would really cover it. So I would say keep that in mind. Halucha isn't. I would hope so. I would hope so. I don't want to see. I don't want to see a cooked wrestling bird. That'd be a first. But yeah, just keep an eye on him. Halucha, I would say, is a really good pick. Just make sure to have something of an items wise where it covers his defensive abilities, and it does go well with Tapuka. I could never pronounce that. Whatever. I could never ever that things. Um, it goes well with that book. So I was just you did really well, and just watch it. Okay. Do you want to call something here because we are taking very picks. Do you want to just do 3 rounds right now and come back for another podcast at another at a probably at like a date within this week or yeah, I have no problem. Yeah, Jesus. Gee. Seismitoad. I would say this is an excellent choice, seeing how it is. It is a variety. This is something I call a variety. It knows so much, but it's only limited to its own typing. But it can learn all different types of just grabbing him. It would be ground, and I would suggest using a little poison in there. Like I was telling Tui, having something like status effects will do Seismitoad very well because when they get weak, it's easy to hit, and Seismitoad hits hard. So I suggest hit them with something like okay, I don't know, sludge bomb. Sludge bomb would be good for a poison type move for Seismitoad that can also go really well with its ground typing. If you know what I mean. and when you go in with that, just makes it much more better because ground type moves hit so hard, poison type moves so fast. So great great round choice. I would suggest making him like a center point there. Vaporeon. Vaporeon is a great choice, but it what it lacks in defensive, like all the EV evolutions do have a lack in defensive, which I always thought was a turn off. A lot of trainers like to have somebody like that. I would say the only one of the EV evolutions that would possibly have like a good, defensive, which I say is really good. It's something you really need. Is something like someone like Umbreon, which I thought that I'm very surprised that no one actually picked up just yet. But Vaporeon is good with speed and great with attack. So I would say Ice Beam would be a good move to use on a good basis, seeing as with that a lot of Pokemon artists have built ice types. And any water moves that can be thrown away, I would suggest using electricity and fire. Obviously, is effective against both of them. So, and which is a lot of coaches this time has a lot of fire and electric types, as I've been seeing so far, that can possibly great Pokemon to use. Didn't say nothing more there. Jesus. Zoroark is an interesting choice. I wouldn't have one for Zoroark. I would. It is really good at it. Based on his stats, you would not think that it was really good, but it is in some ways. I just can't explain it. But I would have chosen a better attacker because I see that he went with more of a support character for in Sableye, a healer in Chansey. Why Zoroark for like an attacker? Because Zoroark has a very high attack rate, but not as high as some of the other Pokemon he could have chose. So I don't understand this choice. but I guess we'll see how he runs with it. I'll check it. Yes. I pray to God. Check it. I am the one thing I have to ask. Please pray. I pray to God that you play this Pokemon right. I pray. Azumarill is great. A great Pokemon. The way you've been choosing your Pokemon, I hope that the next Pokemon you chose wasn't a magic card. But Azumarill, I agree with all that. This thing can hit hard. It is great defense, and based on what set he chooses, I pray to God that he chooses a good one. Azumarill can be a main Pokemon for the first time in 2 rounds. Jeez. Let's okay. This is his round 1 pick. Screw Cloyster. Screw the other one. This is fine. No, I didn't even care enough to remember Mega Beedrill's name. That's how bad that was. Honchkrow, not a bad pick. I like to pick a flying dark type, not bad at all. But what worries me a bit about all of this is that it has such a hit rate for moves, and that could come back to haunt him. And the only that's the only problem with Honchkrow. So I would suggest keep in mind with that, and let's hope he hits good enough. We're all not halfway dead or sleeping or having mic issues.
We're going to the final pick in the 2v5 Derby Dawn fans, as he would say, an Oricorio. Okay. Very surprised to see this thing come out. Although it does have a really cool niche in being a dual type with many, many dual type sets. It's always going to be a flying type, but you can run a fire set, you can run an electric, you can run Sensu and Ghost, you can run, I don't remember what the Luau or Lausa or something like that for the
I
psychic
believe-
type.
I believe it is.
But it has some really nice moves. And it's got Dancer, so cool ability. Especially if you're gonna run like Revelation Dance or someone's gonna set up Swords Dance for you on the other team. It can sweep through teams with Swords Dance. That's gonna be a lot of fun. And Dragon Dance also is very common, so you could see that coming in as well. The only thing, it's pretty frail depending on what set you use. Oricorio, the Fire Oricorio is 4 times weak to Rock, and it's probably gonna get decimated easily. Actually, if you use Rock type moves on any of these mons, any form of Oricorio, it's probably gonna get decimated. But it's got pretty nice speed, not really great, but it's pretty nice, putting it right in the middle of speed tier. Special attack is pretty good for a non-evolving Pokemon, so like a single solitary Pokemon. Pretty nice. See this thing with many things, Scarf and Specs looks pretty promising to me. Maybe Sash, just in case you want to hit it with hit something. But I'd probably see like Scarf coming for this thing.
If you want to hit some,
well, you gotta hit something.
I don't know very much about this Pokemon. Ladies and gentlemen, before anything, I'm not good with Yellow. I don't know very much, so this will probably be Tui and Chaos Maze bread and butter. But what I hear personally is that there's a couple forms that I can use. Its dual typing must be very. So I would suggest in this battles, I would suggest focusing more on typing and pick it. So that's basically the best I got.
Alright, that's all for Oricorio?
Yep, pretty much.
Alright, guys. Well, that is where we're going to end the podcast today. We have gone on an hour and some change. We only expected the whole thing to take an hour, so we're going to have to do another session of this. We've been having some mic problems with Tui, and also it was kind of out there and here and there. But we're going to be coming back with this hopefully tomorrow, picking up with part 2. We're going to start off with the round 4 picks, and we're going to start with the Darby Dawn fans 2v5's pick. So hopefully he's able to do that. Hopefully his mic's up and working fine. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy. Damien, anything else you want to say before we close out this segment?
Yep. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you guys like what you see, there may be some other content that you guys might like. So I would suggest hit that like button, commenting, and hit that subscribe button and that bell icon to get notified whenever Chaos May uploads. And if you guys want to check out some of the other stuff that we do, 3-5 also has some stuff that he has up. And I'm pretty sure he'll add us in the description so you guys can come check out my stuff. I'm an all-around player, so you guys can come check me out as well. But most likely, hit that subscribe button for Chaos Man. You deserve it. Good man.
This is why you wanted to do it, because you could actually do that on my podcast.
You do it all the time to me on my scripts. I have to do it at least once.
Well, that is where we're gonna close out the segment. Hope you guys come back out tomorrow. Make sure you, as Davey said, hit that subscribe button to stay updated. I'll try to keep you updated on the league as much as possible. I am the host, so I did create the league, so I kind of have this stuff. Very, very important if you want to very much stay up to date on the league. Go follow me on Twitter at KSMY006. You also can type !Twitter in the chats to bring up my Twitter. While you're over on Twitter, go check out Fletchling Tube Pokemon League's Twitter account, FPL, on there. I try to keep it updated with posts about. I did all the draft picks in that post. I'm going to be keeping up to date with the stats and stuff like that as they go through. So make sure you go follow that. It's going to be really nice. Anything else, Damien?
I would suggest alright, for those of you that want to perhaps join the league, probably next year, we are looking for teams that we can go for. We did have a limited amount of teams this time, but we are looking. So if any of you do want to join and have a little bit of fun with me, Chaos May, and Tui, we are always there. So talk to us if you guys want to play. Shoot one of us a message, and we'll be considering a lot of people next season. showdown. So I'll suggest and the subscribe button. You guys want to check it out? Like, come out.
Yeah, if you're definitely on the edge, make sure you do go subscribe to all the people who are in the league. I'm gonna put them in when I do my battles with them. You could check out all those videos, and I will be posting some of the links to the videos on the Twitter account for FPL. So make sure you go follow that. It's probably the best way to, like, if you want to join the league at all, you have any questions about the league, DM that account. We'll get back to you really fast, and it's gonna be a lot of fun to see what this league does. I'm very excited for it, but that is all we have. So I was gonna do your outro, but I completely forgot how to do it, so I'm just gonna skip over that and do my own outro. Thank you guys very much for watching. Make sure, as always, you hit that like button. Go subscribe to Damien. Go subscribe to 2E5. Leave a like to show your support for the league, and I'm very excited to see how this league starts out. But until next time, I'm ChaosMade006 with a little bit of 2E5, some Damien Dragon, and myself, signing out. We'll see you guys next time. Peace and
Peace.
Burn it up.